This is F121. This is the mainstream racing series. This is race 15 of 24 from Abu Dhabi. I'm Zeb Bauer. Glad you're with us tonight for the last race in our middle chapter, the last race of our middle third. Everything after today will be the last third of the season, so it's getting more and more important to get things in the right direction for all our drivers. And yes, it's me again. I have returned after a 2-week vacation, winter vacation on the volcano desert island of Fuerteventura, and here I am again on my MIS microphone. Good to be back. And I'm looking forward to another interesting and exciting race. MIS has always been very, very tensing and exciting. And this is the place where we will be here tonight. This is the track Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina Island, right in the desert of Abu Dhabi. The three softest tire compounds we will see today. Track difficulty easy. No, definitely not easy. In my mind, one of the hardest tracks. Still the old design, so we will see this race in approximately 2 weeks. And then the layout will be a bit different than today. Not 21 turns anymore. They have eased it a little bit. 5.5 kilometers of length, 21 turns. Lap record from Lewis Hamilton of 2019, 139.2. I expect our drivers to vaporize that lap record by at least 3, maybe even 4 seconds. And we will have an 18 minutes qualifying followed by 28 laps of racing with 19 drivers, 19 almost a full grid. It's a pretty cool thing to get the numbers up high. As soon as we are in winter time, the numbers rise in the grid. And yeah, it will be an interesting battle, like always of course, but things are getting heated. Things are getting more and more interesting about the Drivers' Championship, because having a look it up for you, things get really, really interesting. We see Dominic Walsh leading the way with 216 points in the Mercedes, leading the table here in the lobby, leading the table in our overall standings. And just behind him is Thomas Walsh, yep, his brother, not only in the lobby but in the standings too. His brother is right on his heel, 11 points behind, 205 points. Then a little gap, Dylan Chapman with 173 points. So that is 43 points, the gap to the leader, Dom Walsh. And then Jeppe Nielsen, 147, who had a blistering hot start into the season and then somehow lost a little bit of traction. Monster XD 9000 there, somewhere in the middle of the lobby. I expected him to run away to some moment with the overall lead, but no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Now he is fourth. Nothing decided yet, but he needs to make up a lot of ground in about the overall standings. In P5, Mark Goodman, surprisingly good season for him with 86 points, backed up from his Austria victory sometime middle of the season, of course. P6, Iggy Lai, 7th, Jagger Rognan, P8, Andrew Mond, 9th, Mike Taylor, and in P10, Blake Gary, all of them not battling for the championship then anymore. But there will be some, big battles for the midfield positions as soon as we turn to the last third of the season. And here we are already in these beautiful pictures in the night sky of Abu Dhabi. A lot of lights, really, really cool sight. It is a track around the Yas Marina Hotel there on the Yas Marina Peninsula. And funny thing, my girlfriend, who always complains about me Sundays watching Formula One, but she was there already. She was on Yas Marina Island. She had a foot already on the F1 track. And although he dislikes F1 so much, me on my side, I have not had my foot on Yas Marina Island. Although I like Formula One so much, but okay, that's the irony of life sometimes. Here we are in our pit lane. It is a dry weather. Yeah, what a surprise. Quelle surprise here in Abu Dhabi. Let's get some informations displayed that we will need. And then we wait for the first driver to turn to the track. It is with 19 drivers and almost full grid as hoped and expected. Both the Red Bulls turn to the track early. That's Cratch, one of our new additions, new reserve driver. But the first one on the track was Blake Gary. Once again, one of those drivers who like to turn to the track early in the qualifying in the Alpine, followed by, I think it should be Jeppe Nielsen. No, or is it Cratch? I don't know. I think, not sure which Red Bull it is right behind Blake Gary, both weaving over the long straight. Yeah, anyway, here we will follow Blake Gary in the second DRS zone. We will sit on his shoulder as soon as he started his hot lap. Those who watch me regularly know that I like to follow the first driver who goes out to just get a feel for the track, get today's workplace displayed. One important thing about Abu Dhabi is you can easily cut a lot of corners here. We race with regular corner cut stringency, and let's see how that will conclude then, as we do not like the races to be decided by penalty seconds too much. Here we go on a very short main straight, left-hander, the first strange turn combination here. You cannot take it full throttle, just a little bit of lift there. You need a lot of rear downforce for these turns. Left-right combination followed by the slowest position of the track, the hairpin on the very east end of the track, and then the long straight. Gary did not catch the apex of the hairpin totally fine. Nevertheless, DRS opened here on the long main straight, and then another left, right, left combination. A bit of lifting there on acceleration, then the long left bow. That is a DRS zone, not a straight, but not a turn as well. And then we come to another left, right, left combination, a double chicane here. And then into sector 3, the tricky and difficult, really difficult sector. Right and right again, cannot quite take it with full throttle. Oh, you need a lot of rear downforce, left and left. You could hear Gary, he had to lift, he was too fast, too early on the acceleration, and then right, and that is one hot lap in Abu Dhabi. And Blake Gary has posted a 1:37, already blasted by Jeppe Nielsen by 2.3 seconds. And Jeppe Nielsen, the monster, is already approximately 4 seconds faster than the real life Lewis Hamilton lap record, just as predicted by me. So the good thing about all these runout zones is that you can easily go out of the way, especially in qualifying. While we see Ash Rider, who is out. Ash Rider, he has crashed. Ash Rider has crashed. Was it here? No, it wasn't. Huh. Sorry, can't find it. Can't display it to you, I'm afraid. Ah, there we saw the last wreckage of the Alfa Romeo. Anyway, Ash Rider is out already. We see the first times incoming. No one was able to beat Nielsen. No one was even close to Nielsen. The only one is this man, Dylan Chapman, who was able to stay within 1 second of the monster. Andrew Martin in a good P3, then both the Ferraris, Laubig and Igilai. So a lot of more times incoming right now. Dominic Walsh, the other Mercedes. Let's see what he'll do. The championship leader. Last turn for him, and then it will be a 136.4 equals P4. It was P3, now P4, because the Achterlücken, not sure if I pronounce it correctly, sounds Scandinavian. Achterlücken EU has posted second fastest time in the, I think, Williams it is. 7/10 behind Jeppe Nielsen, and no one is still on hard lap, just a few drivers on out laps, but no hard laps. Maybe it's awkward, the one remaining Alfa Romeo. Yes, he is on hard lap, just started it. He seemed a bit cautious there in turn 5, 6, 7. The eyes opened up on the long back straights, unendingly, seemingly long. Oh, Blake Gary has committed some sort of trouble. Illegal blocking there in the pit exit in this little tunnel. He had two drivers behind him and he is already out. He wanted to go on a second hot lap and he has just quitted. He has a 5 places grid penalty, so it is safe to say that he will be in last position, at least by the looks of things right now. Only thing that could save him would be if 5 or more people would not be able to beat his time. We have another driver who is... There is a blue dot already vanished just when Awkward was getting close to him. The blue bubble disappeared from the map. So sadly I cannot show you. Had to be somewhere here where he lost his car, and I can tell you in these sections it is very easily that you can lose your car because of the fact that you just have to lift through these turns. But especially if you are on time hunt, you just do not want to lift, and that is, I suppose, what happened to Achterlücken. Still need to look up his name. And the next one who is out is Mike Taylor, who has crashed on the same place. After, what is it? Turn 3. Same place, same position. And I could imagine there might be some more people, some more drivers who will lose their each car then in the race. So maybe this will turn into just the same F1 graveyard, like for example the Ascari exit in Monza is. While we are watching Mr. Boosted in the Williams finishing his first hot lap, and he is only in P16. Only in P16, while Nielsen has pushed the limit a little bit further, increasing the gap by 1 or 2 tenths or so. And Janne Vanderbilt did not post a competitive lap time yet, so P17, one of our admins who is down to reserve only due to real life commitments, but he has found some time to be among us tonight again, and that is pretty cool. Everyone likes that a lot. I would like to guess Peter Simpson did not find himself some quality rhythm yet. He will have another hard lap. Means he has another lap on these tires, as the lap before was invalid. Let's stay with him here for a moment. The still reigning champion, who we search a successor for. That is sadly already safe to say that the reigning champion does not have any stake left in the championship battle for season 3. Meanwhile, Dylan Chapman has managed to crawl up into P2. Second position, Dylan Chapman, the only one who managed to sneak inside the half-second window behind Nielsen. We still watch Peter Simpson here in sector 3. Let's see if he can finish his hot lap in allowed circumstances without invalidating the lap time. 5.5 minutes left, so if he wants to have another run, he will have to hurry already. Oh, he was a bit far outside there over the sausage curb, but things are okay. I would like to guess. Oh, have a look, he is second. Peter Simpson up into P2, our pole king from the last years. Not in this season. The different gameplay from 20 to 21 did not do any good for him, I would like to call it. Let's see if he'll adapt a bit more for season 4 then, and be on the podiums a bit more often then. We will have to wait and see until it is something around February or March or so. So, what else is important? Who else is on a hot lap? Janne Vanderbilt made it up into P7, returning to his pit crew here. Then let's have a look what our little opossum is doing. Kio Lauik. He's already in sector 3, didn't see a comparison yet. He is fighting with the curbs here. Not sure if that is really a fast and competitive time that he will post. No, because he turns to his pits. Awkward running while the quali takes itself a short breather. Everyone who wants to have a run as late as possible is still sitting in each pit garage. Awkward is already posting his final lap time right here. He'll not have a chance again afterwards. Number 66. 16 for 66. At least right now, only one who could take P16 away from him is actually only boosted because Gary and Ryder are out already. Ooh, heavily over the curbs here. Okay, well, let's see who else is on a hot lap. We didn't see a lot yet from this man, Jack Rocknan. He was a bit far outside. And he wiggles out. This is it. Finished. He is finished. This is right the spot that I mentioned already a few times. That is so dangerous. And thank you, Jack, for showing us why. The hot lap, the final hot lap, that is Jeppe Nielsen, the provisional pole setter. He is trying to even improve his time. What will Sector 2 bring for him? 1.5 tenths in his hands of improvement, so he could push the limits maybe even a little bit further. Let's watch him, what he is doing here in Sector 3, and then we will have a look at the runner-ups, the followers behind him. The last few turns, left, that, and then right, and this will be his qualifying then. Final turn for Jeppe Nielsen, and this is a 1:35.0. He could not push the limits under the 35 mark, but a 35.0, that is a really good lap time. 4 point something seconds faster than Lewis Hamilton. And that tells already quite a lot, I would like to say. And then let's see what all the followers will do. There are Simpson and Chapman pretty close, tangling for P2. Thomas Walsh then in 4th. And Dom Walsh, where is Dominic Walsh? P8 only for him, so there must come a lot of improvement for him in his final shot. Let's have a look. First one on a hot lap might be Keo Laubig, but he is out. Keo Laubig crashed. Keo Laubig has run his Ferrari into the wall there after turn 2. This dangerous position yet once again has struck already multiple times in the qualifying, just in the qualifying. Let's have a look. Dominic Walsh has just started his hot lap. His brother is right behind him, Dylan Chapman, so he should be the first one to deliver us the first sector time, at least from the front runners. Sadly didn't see it, what Sector 1 brought for him. Let's have a look. Tom Walsh all already in Sector 2. Let's see what the comparison at the end of Sector 2 will tell us. Dylan Chapman, the first one off the top of this trio to reach the end of Sector 2, and he is improving by 2 tenths. That would be enough to attack Chapman, Simpson, but not the pole. And Tom Walsh is improving by only 1 tenth, so not enough to attack Chapman. There is some mistake displayed. I wanted to watch Dominic Walsh, not Janne Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt finished in 8th. Iggy Lai in 7th. Rognan leaps up into 4th. Chapman has overtaken Simpson for P2. What does Dominic Walsh do from P10 to P6? 10 to 6. Improvement, but not really good as expected or as wanted. Tom Walsh, no improvement for him in the end. giving him only P5, and Peter Simpson, right when I jump to him, the Pole King has struck again. My goodness, where did that come from? Peter Simpson, 1.5 tenths quicker than Jeppe Nielsen, snatching the pole in literally the last moment. This is our qualifying and starting grid from Abu Dhabi. Simpson ahead and Jeppe Nielsen in P2. Second starting row will be Chapman and Rognian. Late leap upwards from him too. P5 the Walshes. The Walshes share the third starting row. Tom and Dom. 7th Achter Lücken. P8 Iggy Line. 9th Grimo Goodman. P10 Andrew Mann. P11 free tire options from here onwards. Jane van der Brill, Keo Laubig, Mike Taylor, Courage, P15 Nevis Ikic, 16 Awkward, 17 Blake Gary, Butter plus 5, and then boosted, and in last position was Ash Ryder. So, short ironic joke, let's have a look how the weather will be, but we all know that already. And have a look, we are in the desert and the weather is dry for the race. We will race into the sunset in around half a minute, and I will be back with you in a moment. So I was trying to look up the name of Achterlücken, but the name of Achterlücken in our Discord server is Verreuken. So yeah, didn't help a lot. Verreuken, Achterlücken, call him whatever you want. He is our number 2 Red Bull for tonight. And Pete Simpson has led the grid around half the track already in our warm-up lap. Let's have a short look about the tires. P10 up to P10 they have to use the quality tire, of course. P11 onwards, Jane van der Brill, Keo Lauvik, Mike Taylor, mediums, Ikic, Awkward, and Ash Ryder likewise. And a handful of softs, that is Courage, Boosted, and Blake Gary. What is the right thing to do tire-wise for the start? That is hard to tell, hard to say. I remember one race, the undisputed safety car, ultimate safety car race. I had broadcasted that was for the L2S community, and we had in 28 laps we had 5 safety car phases, and the first DRS attack came in the penultimate lap because DRS was disabled almost the whole race. So what I want to say is a safety car is never far away here in Abu Dhabi, and therefore it could turn out to an advantage to start on softs. But all that we will see in the upcoming 45 minutes. And here we are on the starting grid, the 5 red lights of Abu Dhabi and the MIS Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Here we go, go, go. Good start, very good start from Peter Simpson, just crawling away from everyone. In P2, Nielsen has to defend his second. P5 until there everything went fine, and then we turn to this dangerous track position here, turn 3 and 4, everything went rather smoothly, but we see a yellow. There was yellow something behind. The distance indicator is already broken here, and broken is Andrew Mann's front wing. There we see some tangling in the background, Some chaos here in the back of the grid. That was Gary Ryder. Boosted, I think, was involved too. So both the Williams, no, it's a Williams and an Alpine that tangled there. But the rest went rather okay. No DNFs in the first lap yet. In the first half lap, we saw Mike Taylor throwing his Aston Martin violently over the curbs. But he does have front wing damage, so that means he will be one of them who are booked for an early pit stop there. You can visibly see him struggling through these phases. Likewise, everyone right here in these areas, almost everyone is having some sort of front wing damage. So there will be quite some pit stops here now. Let's have a look about the tires that the drivers will use. Peter Simpson has driven away from everyone in the front row. Nielsen and Chapman, the top 3. And now let's see who will take to the pits. Andrew Mann, the first one. Then Van de Bril. Then Mike Taylor, Blake Gary, boosted. Ash Ryder. The bottom 6. Everyone into the pits. Let's have a look. Oh, Ash Ryder already quitted. He does not like to continue this race with us. Mont Van de Bril on hards. Monster Van de Bril on hards. Boosted mediums. Taylor Gary softs. So that is how the back of the grid will continue the race. All 3 different tire compounds available among them. We are in lap 3, means next lap DRS will be activated, and Simpson is doing what he can to push Nielsen out of the 1 second DRS window. By the looks of things right now, it looks like it could work for Simpson. Nielsen then has pushed out Chapman very hard, 2 seconds the gap already. Mixner, the Rockman, is out of the window too, and out is Grimo Goodman. Had to be somewhere here. There is it. There is the wrecked Alpine. Oh, what happened there? Looked like he darted just front way into the wall there. Oh my. Oh my. Reminds me of this harsh Nico Rosberg crash in this section in, what was it, 2012 or so. And we have a VSC due to the DNF of Mark Goodman. And Achter Lücken is using this as a pit stop. Meanwhile, there is some fan of him, Sam Gobert. Good evening, welcome to the chat box. Sam Gobert is a friend, I call you a fan, of Achter Lücken, and he told us that this well-sounding name of Achter Lücken, he is called Jelle. So, yeah. I think I will just stick with Achter Lücken. I like this name. Anyway, we still see a VSC, and Jeppe Nielsen made up a bit of ground that is not allowed under VSC, so he has to watch out not to catch himself a drive-through penalty. And there are the penalties, and it is for Andrew Mond and awkward drive-through penalties, speeding under VSC, very harshly penalized, and yep, it is a drive-through. And in these pit lane, this penalty is even harsher because the pit delta is so tremendously long. But still, Nielsen has gained ground on Simpson there. Before the VSC, he was a little bit out of the 1 second window, and now have a look. With 6.5 tenths, he is definitely inside the DS window, and there will be maybe not the DS attack yet, but at least he'll get into a attacking situation, or maybe he can attack. There was some slide from Simpson, who is racing without traction control, totally off his traction control. And now have a look how the Red Bull is zooming into the McLaren, and not yet, wheel to wheel. And Andrew Mont has retired, Andrew Mont has quitted. He not just drive through, he just stayed in the penalty, in the pit lane. And now he is through. Yes, he is. Just 2 DS zones were enough for Jeppe Nielsen to muscle ahead of Pete Simpson. Yellow there still in sector 1. That is the retired car of Andrew Mont, the second McLaren, and it is visible. You can literally see how much faster Nielsen is, pulling away by 1.5 seconds from Simpson, and immediately posting the newest fastest lap time of the race. Yeah, welcome Andrew Mont to the chat box, telling us that he is done. Yeah, that is sad. Very sad, but I hope that you will stay with us at least in here and watch your lads racing here on the Yas Marina Peninsula. And while Simpson is trying to follow Nielsen, we see Dylan Chapman, who is already 4.5 seconds away. And Chapman now will have to deal with an incoming Thomas Walsh. While in the background, Lai and Rocknan have swapped positions. And this potentially looming battle here between the Aston Martin of Walsh, Thomas Walsh, and the Mercedes of Chappers, that is a very interesting battle that could come up. Let's have a look what's going on here. Oh, there was a bit of attack from Iggy Lai into the rear of Rocknan. Hard fighting, but still fair fighting, I would like to call it. And Lai is back in P5. Let's look at this from the view of Dominic Walsh, who somehow has to get through those boys. He has to get ahead of them. He is the championship leader. He cannot allow all of his rivals to make up points on him, because his main rivals are Tom Walsh in P4, Chappers in P3, and Nielsen in P1. So all of them would gain ground on him. Oh, Rockman is out! Rockman is out! Oh no, we watched him. We literally watched him, and we have a safety car. Safety car because of the hard crash of Rockman. Can we see it again, his wrecked car? This is the same spot as I was talking about so often already. And this is right here. He lost control of his car, did not want to lift from the acceleration pedal. And yeah, this was the result. Commentator's curse. I have been called a few times already. And now in this moment, my curse struck Rockman. And now in lap 6, let's have a look who might pit in, especially the Andrew Mon says, I have one bad news for you, my friend, because it is only Wednesday. But chin up can only get better from this point. And Nielsen pitting. Simpson not pitting. I think he wanted, but did not get around the pit entry corner. Chapman in, Tom Walsh in, Iggy Lai in. That was a big mistake from Simpson. And even Lauvik is pitting, even the medium starter. He might have to wait in his Ferrari garage. Oh, okay. Simpson has left the session. I know that he sometimes has to endure internet connection issues. I am not sure if that was an internet connection issue or if he is a non-entry and therefore just threw his steering wheel away. Anyway, we see from the top 10, everyone has pitted besides, Simpson. Not sure if he is still with us. And Ekic and Achterlücken. And in the background, Blake Gary is pitting again. Shaking off his softs. We see, by the way, Jeppe Nielsen, who has opted for Haas, and he will potentially try and go through on this set through the rest of the race, but I am not sure if that is the right thing to do. I don't expect this race to be finished without another safety car phase, and that would mean that he'll lose quite some time on the hards compared to all those medium runners around him. But we will see how things will conclude. Dominic Walsh down to P8, only P8. Still chasing all those championship rivals, but at least he can see them. He's not too far away. There is one Ferrari in between him and his brother, and then Chapman in 5th. All of them on fresh mediums. Monster, that is in Jeppe Nielsen in P3. And now Simpson pits. Yeah, I think it's obvious that he is AI driven. I hope he can return, not sure though. Well, we have at least one more lap of safety car, and I will take a sip and be back with you in a moment. So the safety car is in this lap, and all of a sudden, have a look, Nevis Ikic is leading the race and restarting here for us, still quite slow. And we have us a restart. Nevis Ikic ahead of Jeppe Nielsen, but Nielsen on the hards. Let's see if he can match the pace. Achter Lücken is already chasing him. It looks like Nielsen cannot follow Nevis Ikic, even though Ikic is on older mediums. Achter Lücken in third, and then Chapman, the first runner on fresh mediums. There was a mistake. Ikic threw away the lead and now will be overtaken. Is he or is he not? By Chapman. No, he could defend at least P3 after some sort of lapse he must have had there in the hairpin. Chapman and then Tom Walsh very close, just inches away. But Ikic stays where he is, at least for the moment. Oh, this will be interesting now, because Jeppe Nielsen, who was the fastest man yet in this race, is leading, but on the slowest tire, and it looks like that he was not fast enough to match the pace of Ikic, and Taylor is out. Mike Taylor is out. Mike Taylor is out on the same spot as Goodman, and we have a safety car. Safety car number 2. Second work stint of Bernd Mailänder. Let's see if there is someone who will pit. We see 5-second penalties for Dominic Walsh and Keo Laubik, who tagged each other under the safety car phase earlier. Only Kretsch, the only one who has a fresh set of softs. Scrubbed set, not entirely new. So, safety car number 2 for this race, more or less as expected, I would like to say. Let's see. Kretsch overtook Bernd Mailänder there, as Mailänder is waiting for Jeppe Nielsen. No one else pitted in. I was considering maybe Ikic or Awkward to pit. The drivers on the oldest mediums, but no, they want to go on. And this makes Achter Lücken still in P2. What a good race he has in his inaugural race as MRS reserve. That would be one way to start into a new league, finishing first race on the podium. And no one pits. Still no one pitted in. The field will now be caught, and now people pit. Dominic Walsh and Awkward. Is it by jeopardy that both of these drivers had a penalty in the backpack? Dominic Walsh will finish the race on this set of hards, and ahead of him is Awkward. Fresh mediums, he might have to stop again. Awkward, not sure if he can make it through the race on this set of mediums. Dominic Walsh will definitely try to do so. Yeah, anyway, we will have 2 more laps of safety car, I expect, and I'll be back with you in a moment. The safety car lights aren't flashing anymore, means safety car will turn to the pits at the end of this lap. That is actually just one turn away for our second restart and third start overall. And Jeppe Nielsen will do our restart here. Such a familiar situation for him. And here we are, green condition, back to racing. And have a look, Achterlücken is a lot faster than Nielsen. That was unexpected, even for the Lücken, even for Jelle, I think. I hope he didn't catch up some front wing damage there. Looks like he is having some understeer here in these turns. Can't get the apex on the hairpin too. There might be some damage. Not visible, but we will have to watch if he'll pit in soon or not. Ekic then still in third, still on his old mediums. And then the good old battle that is looming already for a few laps, but was aborted due to, or interfered due to safety cars between Chapman and Tom Walsh. Both the Ferraris, P6 and 7. So in this first lap after safety car, not really a lot happened. I am still not sure about the condition of Achterlücken. Anyway, Ekic and Lücken both have old mediums to race with, and that means these drivers, Chapman, Tom Walsh, and both the Ferraris, might be faster on the long run, on the long term against them. Let's see if it maybe wasn't a mistake not to pit in. So let's see what turn 3 and 4 will bring us now. Next one to DNF, question mark. Nope, at least not in the front, at least the upper half of the field. Chapman very close to Ekic, no DRS yet, but it looks like he doesn't even need the DRS. Slipstream plus overtake, but that is not enough yet. I already had this thought a little bit earlier, a few laps earlier. I think that Ekic has a setup that leans on straight line speeds. Another try outside lane, wheel to wheel. No, Ekic very well defending his position. He loses time to Achterlücken, of course, but he is very well defending his P3. In the upcoming turns, it is not possible to overtake. I hope Chapman knows it. But yeah, I guess so. He's a good driver, clean driver. He knows when or when not to try. Ekic already 3 seconds away from Lücken, Achterlücken. This is the view of the over the rear wing of Neves Ekic, and it feels like it is just a question of time when Chapman will attack him. And I think both drivers know that it will be time for it as soon as we turn to the next DRS zone. One hairpin corner left, and then the next DRS zone that will start right here. Chapman very close already. Chapman uncorks it and takes a sip of P3. Will he be the only one to attack him? Tom Walsh. Tom Walsh knows that he must overtake Ekic as soon as possible as well. Not give Chapman any chance to run away. Now Ekic is DRS equipped likewise. Tom Walsh ties it up, but can he get around him? Can he turn the corner? Wow, Ikic stays ahead. Ikic stays ahead and have a look. Both the Ferraris behind Tom Walsh. Just on the hunt like a cougar laying there waiting for the moment to jump on their prey. But instead of attacking, have a look. Kiolovic is out. Kiolovic is out. The opossum is out. And Jane van der Brill is so too. Van der Brill has shot out Lauvik there. And we have a safety car. Safety car number 3. Ooh, somehow. Oh no, Peter Simpson is out too. Peter Simpson makes it a threesome. And another one. And another one. This is... Who was it? Is it Boosted? My goodness. Boosted is out. And a Cratch it was. Cratch was just standing there. Cratch was just running right into this gaggle of cars. Oi. My goodness, what in all hell is going on here? Right at the middle of the race, we are down to just half the grid anymore. Yeah, this was a true Abu Dhabi moment. It all started with Jane van der Brill attacking Kiolovic. The group was closing up. Van der Brill wanted to attack the slowing Lauvik. Slowing because of the fights ahead of Lauvik. And with those two boys crashing out, yeah, well, you saw it, what happened. Simpson, Cratch, and yeah, only them running into this flock of cars, and for some reason Boosted survived it. For some reason Boosted only needed a new front wing and everything was good. So we are in lap 15, still 14 laps to come, at least two of them under safety car condition. Achterlücken now is pitting while Nielsen is running through the end on his hards. Let's have a short look where Achterlücken will be track-wise then. Oh. Achterlücken on mediums. I see some big problems coming. Ah no, he started on softs. Okay, I just watched it up in the menu. You can see it on the screen. Achterlücken started on softs. I totally forgot that this was already his second stop. I thought he had himself a problem with medium to medium. But okay, this is allowed. And he is in P4 with fresh mediums. That's actually a pretty good spot track-wise. Freshest tire from the front runners. Ikic then on hards in P5. Did not dare to stop for mediums. And then a whole lot of fresh mediums behind Tom Walsh, Iggy Lai, Blake Gary, Tom Walsh, Boosted, all of them fresh mediums. So the three drivers ahead are those with the oldest and potentially slowest tires against followers with fresher and faster tires. This sounds like a pretty promising finale to our Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I will step aside another moment while we are still racing behind the safety car, and we'll be back with you shortly. So here I am again, right in the moment where we are being told that safety car will be in this lap. And Sam Gobert has told us in the chat box that he is the race engineer of Achterlücken. And actually, I am not sure if that question is displayed on the telemetry. There you can see it. I think it's not displayed. I think there is no sign of fuel level for the other drivers. And even if I would not show you, because in the real life the race engineers do not know the situation about the other drivers' fuel settings. Anyway, here we are. Back to green. Now, here we go. Back to green. Third restart of this race. And we see Dylan Chapman on his used mediums already attacking, or more or less attacking. Yeah, Nielsen on his old hards. Similar age. But with 10 laps, the mediums seem to still be a bit faster than the 10 laps old hards. But still, we cannot be sure if Chapman can make it through the race on this set, while Nielsen definitely will do so. And Achterlücken, Jelle has a problem. Yes, he has a damaged front wing. Oh my, damaged front wing. Didn't see exactly what happened. But, yeah. Such a great race for him in his MIS debut, and now he'll need another pit stop and will have to hope and pray that the race will have another safety car phase. That is the only possibility how he could make up some more positions towards the end. Very, very sad for his race though, but yeah, he has shown his talent, and that is what is the debut race sometimes is all about. And by the way, we are down to 10, so that means everyone who finishes the race will receive points. So easiest points earned of the season, just stay in the race. Just do not DNF, just don't give up. No matter if you are behind by 5 laps, you will get at least 1 point. And yeah, so let's focus for the final 10 laps on what is important about the battle for the podium or even the victory. This is still Dylan Chapman chasing Jeppe Nielsen, and as Dominic Walsh is still only in P8, that would mean that all of the other front runners in the championship run will make up a lot of points on the leader. Dominic Walsh would make only 4 points for his P8 in case he finishes 8th. And that would mean, for example, that Dylan Chapman would make up 14 points on Dom Walsh. And another good race, by the way, from Awkward here in the Alfa Romeo. 2.6 seconds behind Dylan Chapman. Not sure if he might have a chance to attack him right now. He just has to watch out that he isn't caught from behind. While Nevis Ikic committed a mistake. Ikic was in a better position, dropped down a few spots, a few positions, giving Dom Walsh P7 right ahead of him. And Tom Walsh is now 4th. Tom Walsh chasing Awkward on the older medium tires. That could be a chance for... Oh, and there is Awkward. There is Awkward without the front wing. Turn right. There's a pit entry. Yes, he made it to the pit entry. Ah, such a good race for Awkward. And he throws a potential podium away here in the late stages of the race. Oh my, and so at least one Walsh is on the podium. That is Tom Walsh, but that is not safe yet. Have a look. There is Iggy Lai. in his DRS window, 7.5 tenths the gap. He seemed a bit closer in the hairpin. No chance yet, but he got a lot closer, and behind there is some battle going on. Dominic Walsh against Blake Gary. Dom Walsh now in 6th, trying to limit the damage on points, and here in the second DRS zone he cruises by Blake Gary while just one spot further ahead. His brother is defending against the Ferrari of Iggy Lai. While we are racing into the sundown, you can see the red clouds in the sky. Beautiful scenery. At least on my PS5. I hope that this is at least a little bit brought to you over the video or the stream too. So right now the race win looks rather safe for Jeppe Nielsen, rather safe, 1.3 seconds away from Dylan Chapman, and it does not look like as if Chapman could close the gap. Nevis Ikic spun, I think, after turn 3, but still running. Still going with us. Achter Lücken, fastest lap of the race. Iggy Lai in the DS zone, trying to inch closer to Thomas Walsh, who by himself is getting closer to Chapman too. So it really looks like those drivers on the old tires ahead are maybe losing time here a little bit. How ironic is it? With 7.5 laps remaining, it is only Iggy Lai in the DRS window of the driver ahead, even though we had so many safety car phases and the field was more or less bunched up almost the whole race long. Yeah, and Tom Walsh is definitely getting closer to Dylan Chapman. If he can hold up that pace, that would mean that in one more lap or maybe two, he will be in the DS window of the Mercedes. While Iggy Lai does seem faster than Tom Walsh, even though he now lost a few tenths. Right now he is actually about to drop out of the DRS window. I'm sure if there was some sort of mistake. VSC, what happened? I'm browsing through the mini-map, but I don't see anything big going on. Let's see if there is someone with damage, someone who might have caused some yellow. Oh no, Blake Gary is lacking a front wing. Oh, he is the one who caused the yellow. Such a good race from Gary, who started from the back row. But I hope that he will stay with us. I hope that he will not just quit the race. He will get at least a point. I mentioned it. Everyone who finishes will receive a point. So back to green, no drive-through penalty this time in this VSC phase. And here we are now with our 3-man battle group. 2 of these 3 men will stand on the podium in the end. The question is just who will be this one unlucky guy who is not allowed on the podium from these 3. Chapman ahead on the oldest medium tire, oldest from them, supplying DRS for everyone. Dangerous turn 3, but it all went right for these boys. And Nielsen, the leader, is just 1.5 seconds away too. So for those who are battling here for P2 or P3, the race victory is not too far away either. Right now it looks like Tom Walsh is a little bit closer to Chapman. Not yet. But the next DRS zone is right here upcoming. And now he uncorks it. And outside lane, and he pushes through. Have a look, he pushed through. My goodness, Tom Walsh driving around Dylan Chapman after the second DRS zone. And this was just a display about better grip for younger tires. Now have a look what's gonna happen to Chapman here with the next pack from incoming from Iggy Lai. At least it looks like Iggy Lai would attack Chapman pretty soon, but now Chapman is still in the DRS window, but he is losing meter after meter to Tom Walsh, so his DRS might vanish just in a few laps. Oh, a bit of harsh curb running there. So now Chapman might be out already. Chapman is out of the DRS ring and Awkward is out of the race. Awkward out, but not here. No yellow here, and Iggy Lai just cruises by. Just very smooth operatorly driving by Chapman. And now DRS zone in favor of the Mercedes. Can Chapman counter it? Does not look like. Yeah, no. He's close. Have a look. He's close. Not close enough. And behind in P5, Dominic Walsh. Dominic Walsh limiting his damage that he had to endure after the qualifying. Not letting his rivals make up too much of ground on him. For P5 he'll receive 10 points then, and Nielsen, the potential race winner, would make up 15 points then, but that is not safe yet. We see Chapman, who is in the DRS window of Iggy Lai, and behind him Dominic Walsh in his DRS window, and Chapman is part of the championship battle too. So both the Mercedes will maybe dance it out. Who will snatch 2 additional points for P4? P4 12, P5 10 points. And now Chapman, have a look how easy that went for Dominic Walsh. Faster tire, younger tire, plus DRS, and just cruised by. Chapman should be DRS equipped, yes he is, but no counter possible. And the next question mark is Thomas Walsh, the other Walsh, the number 1 follower of Dominic Walsh. He is under half a second away from Jeppe Nielsen, and with 3 laps remaining, it looks like rather safe to say that Tom Walsh will attack him in the next lap in both, or in one of the DRS zones. 6.5, now 7/10 the gap, with 3 laps remaining. And here is it, DRS zone for Thomas Walsh, following Jeppe Nielsen. He looks a bit far away in this zone, but there will be yet just another one right after the next turn combination. He's zooming in to Nielsen here. We'll try to have the cleanest possible acceleration, and now overtake button, DRS activated, and outside lane. This should work. This does work. Does it work? Yes, it does. New leader, Thomas Walsh. Thomas Walsh and Dominic Walsh, his brother, has managed to crawl up onto the podium. We missed that sadly due to watching the lead swap, and here is the other Walsh, the younger Walsh, the little Walsh in P3. My goodness, just imagine, what was it, maybe 5, 6, 7 laps ago, Dominic Walsh was down in P8, only in P8, and have a look where he is now. P3, really a good result, really a strong final stint for the younger Walsh in the Mercedes, only allowing his brother to make up 10 points. And if I have our overall standings correctly in my mind, that would mean that Dom Walsh would lead just by 1 point, one single little point over his brother when we turn into the final third of the season next week then. But the race isn't over, still 1.5 laps remaining, and this is the view of the Red Bull of Jeppe Nielsen, 6/10 behind Tom Walsh. Slower tire, not as good on acceleration as Tom Walsh does. Nielsen is not using overtake. That could mean he'll try to sum up as much overtake as possible for the last lap then, for one final attack as late as possible, that Tom cannot counter that anymore afterwards. Half a second, likewise half a second is the gap between Dom Walsh and Iggy Lai. So this is the second question mark. Who will be the final third man on the podium? But now as we turn into the last lap, we will focus on this right here first. Tom or Jeppe? This is the view over the Cognizant rear wing of Thomas Walsh. The final 5 point something kilometers for the Walshes and all the others. Iggy Lai is 8/10 away from Tom Walsh. It does not look like as if Iggy Lai could make it on the podium again. And now, this is it. This is it. Jeppe Nielsen, now he does use overtake. First DRS zone, only to zoom into the rear of Tom Walsh. Does he dare to attack already? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And that means here is the worst acceleration out of the turn on the slower tire. That was a mistake. That was a mistake, Jeppe Nielsen. I'm sorry to say so. But you should not have done it in the first DRS zone. He gave Tom Walsh all the abilities to counter the attack in the second DRS zone. And so Thomas Walsh is back in the lead, and now, as long as he doesn't throw his Aston Martin away in the last 5 turns, this will be his victory. This will be his victory, assisted, I would like to call it, by Jeppe Nielsen, who had a great race. Jeppe Nielsen, great race likewise, but this one mistake maybe costed it for him. Race winner Thomas Walsh ahead of Jeppe Nielsen, and then Dominic Walsh, the final third man on the podium. Iggy Lai did not have a chance to attack him in the final lap, just as expected. Dylan Chapman finishes then in P5 with tremendously 21 laps on his set of mediums. They had to be red like hell in the end, and Achterlücken came up to P6 in the end. Pretty good inaugural race for him. Achterlücken by the name of Jelle. And Nevis Ikic 7th. He led the race for a short moment. P8 Blake Gary and 9th and lasted in the classification. This man who still has 3 turns ahead of him, that is boosted in the final Williams. And here he is on the final straight. This is it. This is the MIS Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in Season 3. Driver of the day, at least by the game, is Blake Gary, who could have had a lot more points in his hands. Still good race coming up from the back of the grid, of the starting grid. Yeah, the digital version of Champagne, and for Red Bull, Aston Martin, Mercedes, and this is the final result after penalties. Luckily, we did not have a penalty. Thomas Walsh has won it ahead of Jeppe Nielsen and his brother Dominic Walsh. I think that Dom Walsh will lead by one little silly point over his brother now when we turn to the next race. 4th, Iggy Loy, P5, Dylan Chapman. 6th, Achterlücken, P7, Nevis Ikic. 8th, Blake Gary, and last in classification is boosted, not finished, is Awkward, Cratch, Simpson, Keo Laubik, Janne van der Bredel, Mike Taylor, Jack Rocknian, Andrew Mont, Mark Goodman, and Ash Reuter. So, the Mainstream Racing Series will continue next week's Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. UK, 8:30 p.m. Continental. Stream goes online always around about 5 or 10 minutes earlier. If you want to be notified for the next race, just hit the subscribe button and YouTube will shoot you a message once my broadcast goes online. I hope you liked it just as much as I did. It was a pleasure to be back as the MRS streamer. Was fun as always to bring this exciting race home to your living room. I hope you will be back with us for the final third of the season. Final third to when we watch who will decide the championship in his favor or not. The last championships have always been very interesting and exciting, and I expect this season to be just as much exciting as the last years. And next week, 7:30 p.m. as mentioned, we will turn to Lapland Silverstone. Until then, I wish you a pleasant evening, have a good time, stay safe, stay healthy, and most important, keep racing!